Thanks for spending this time with me today. In this series of videos, my goal is to help you move closer to Jesus by answering some questions that he might ask you if he were here. These are personal questions that only you can answer, and only Jesus needs to hear your answers. Before we get to the questions, let's start with these important Bible verses. Philip said to him, "Lord, show us the Father, and it is enough for us." Jesus said to him, "Have I been with you for so long a time, and yet you have not come to know me, Philip? The one who has seen me has seen the Father. How can you say, 'Show us the Father'? Do you not believe that I am in the Father, and the Father is in me? God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are one." Jesus made this claim on many occasions. Here's a brief overview of his instruction. I think most Christians have a hard time explaining the Trinity to both unbelievers and believers. Of course, we can articulate that the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit are one, but precisely how that's possible is not so easy. I think the best course of action is to not pick this doctrine apart, but simply accept the fact that this is the true nature of God. Jesus himself had a hard time getting this point across to the Jewish leaders who constantly challenged his every assertion. We can gain a lot of insight when we take a look at his teaching and the 5 examples he gives to prove his point. When it was discovered that Jesus was healing people on the Sabbath, it enraged the Jewish leaders. When confronted, Jesus explained that he was the Son of God and therefore had an obligation to do his Father's work. This only made the Jewish leaders more enraged. In their eyes, this was blasphemy, punishable by death. Nevertheless, there's no question that Jesus claimed to be equal to God, having the ability to raise people from the dead. Jesus also told the Jewish leaders that he had the authority to judge all men, and that rejection of him was the same as rejection of God. Clearly, Jesus presented himself as equal to God. To further establish his deity, Jesus offered 5 witnesses. John the Baptist said that Jesus explains God. The miracles Jesus performed announced his deity. Jesus was identified by the Father as his Son on the day of his baptism. The Old Testament prophecies announced Jesus as the Messiah. And finally, Jesus said that Moses was a witness when he prophesied a prophet raised up by God would come as a guide. This was the evidence that Jesus presented to the Jewish leaders. Today we have the entire New Testament providing us with an overwhelming body of evidence that clearly demonstrates this truth. Jesus is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. Now is your chance to have a conversation with Jesus about this important doctrine by sharing your answers to a few questions. After you listen to each question, it's a good idea to pause the video so you'll have plenty of time to share all of your thoughts with Jesus and listen carefully for his response. Are you convinced that God, Jesus, and the Holy Spirit are one? Do you honor Jesus as you honor God? Do you feel connected to God by the Holy Spirit? Do you have any doubt about the deity of Jesus? Have you read the Bible verses that point to the deity of Jesus? I pray these questions from Jesus have triggered in you the desire to move closer to him and to share his love with others. There is enormous value in taking the time to be alone with Jesus every single day. Go in peace.